Good morning, students. How are you all? Okay, so today we are going to start our further topic, but before that, keep your books with you, okay? Open them and then just go through the topic we are going to study, okay? So, yesterday, as you all know, that we studied about cell, what is cell, okay? What are the types, the number, and then we studied in detail about prokaryotic cells. Now I think you all know what is prokaryotic cell. So many examples are there for prokaryotes, especially the microorganisms, right? Like bacteria, blue-green algae and PPLO, etc. So these are some of the examples for prokaryotes. Now yesterday we also studied the structure of prokaryotes, that the prokaryote is composed of a cell membrane and inside that we have nucleus. No, we don't have nucleus, okay? So actually there the chromosome is present in open, that is naked, without any cell membrane. That is the special feature of prokaryotes. But and even I told you that no cell organelle is present there, okay? But cell organelles are not present, but still there is one more structure which is present in prokaryotes also, okay? So that is called as ribosomes, okay? So we are going to study about the ribosomes today. So let's get started. So here I have made notes for you. So go through this carefully and write the important points in your notebook, okay? So see, the next topic in your book also the same, ribosomes and inclusion bodies, okay? Now actually these ribosomes, these are the structures which are present actually in prokaryotes, that is bacteria and all, and these are also present in eukaryotes, okay? So this is present in both type of cells, and you know that eukaryotes are higher organisms like fungi, plants, animals, okay? These are the categories in eukaryotes. Clear? Alright, now we are going to study about only prokaryotic ribosomes today, not of eukaryotes, because there is a difference between prokaryotic ribosome and eukaryotic ribosome. So today, as we have already studied about prokaryotes, so we will study ribosomal nature in prokaryotes, okay? So here I have made a flow chart, that is features of prokaryotic ribosome. What are the features of prokaryotic ribosome? First of all, they are attached with the plasma membrane, okay? That membrane which is covering the bacteria, suppose the bacteria is the organism, so that is, suppose this is the membrane, okay? This is the cell, bacterial cell, so they are attached with the membrane like this, okay? So that is plasma membrane. Then not membrane bound, again the same thing, like in prokaryotes the chromosome is naked, no membrane is there, same thing is here also, ribosomes are present naked, they don't have any membrane bound envelope. Clear? Next is, this is really very important, okay? This is actually the function of ribosomes. What is the function? Ribosomes plays a very important role in protein synthesis. Yes, okay? You know that proteins, some of the proteins we take from outside source as a food, right? But inside our body, some of the proteins are made, okay? And what are those structures which make these proteins which are required for our human body? What is that? That is actually the ribosome. Not only human beings but other organisms also require protein, like these prokaryotes, okay? So ribosomes are the actual site of protein synthesis, okay? So if we talk about the function of ribosomes, that means ribosomes plays important role in the making of proteins, okay? After that, some of the ribosomes are actually attached to mRNA chain to form polysome. Now what is this mRNA chain? you know that inside the cell we have nucleus, right? And inside the nucleus we have genetic material, that is DNA. If you have studied in your earlier classes also, okay? If you remember, DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, which acts as a genetic material, okay? So in higher organisms we usually have DNA as a genetic material, but in lower organisms we also have another nucleic acid which we call RNA, okay? And RNA is having the types like rRNA, okay, mRNA, okay, tRNA. Three basic types of RNAs. rRNA means ribosomal RNA, okay. mRNA, tRNA, we will discuss this later in your higher class, in your I think next class, in class 12. So all these things, so don't confuse, this is actually the genetic material for the lower organisms, rRNA, mRNA and tRNA. Actually different RNAs have different structure, okay. The mRNA is having linear structure, it acts as a chain where these ribosomes combine one by one, like a beads in a necklace, okay. So they act like this. So while combining in this chain, this is the mRNA chain, okay. So they form a cluster, that means so many ribosomes gets attached with this mRNA chain. That's why we call it polyribosome. Poly word means many, okay. That means polyribosomes, so many ribosomes gets attached with the mRNA chain, okay. That's why we call it polyribosome. So these are some of the features of ribosome. But the important feature, you listen it carefully, is what? That ribosomes are actually, the prokaryotic ribosomes are actually 70S type, okay. We have two types of ribosomes, okay. First is 70S type and second is 80S. 80S is for eukaryotic organisms or eukaryotic cells. But for prokaryotes, the smaller organisms, we have 70S type ribosome. Now what is this actually 70S? That means the 70S means its size, shape, okay. We assign it a unit which is called 70S. S here means sedimentation coefficient. Now what is this sedimentation coefficient? In general terms, it means that time taken to move on the surface. But I'll explain you in a very easy form that ribosomes are actually the small structures in the cell, right? So they are in continuous motion, okay. They move inside the cell, they are in continuous motion. So but the time taken by the ribosomes to move, it depends upon their size, it depends upon their weight, okay. So together when we compare all these properties, then we take one coefficient which is called as sedimentation coefficient, okay. How much time it takes to move on the surface, right? So that is sedimentation coefficient. Now for here we usually denote it with S. You can see here S. So S is here unit which we call Swedberg unit, okay. This is Swedberg unit, and 1 Swedberg unit is equal to 1 multiplied by 10 minus 13 seconds, okay. So this is the actually value of 1 Swedberg unit. Clear? After that, now actually this is really very important. This 70S ribosomes, these are not actually a single unit, okay. These are actually formed from two small units, or you can say two subunits, okay. You can see here one unit is bigger and second unit is smaller. This is the actual structure of ribosome. Now the larger unit is 50S and the smaller unit is 30S. Now you will say, you might be wondering that 50S and 30S, when we add 50 plus 30 it becomes 80S, but how the 70S is coming, okay. So I'll give you one example. Suppose you have a ball, okay, this is a ball, and you cut this ball into two pieces. Okay, after that try to join it again. What will happen if you want to join it again? Its shape will be different. Okay, its weight will also change, its size will also change. Clear? So that's why ribosome is actually having two parts. So that's why its size and shape is changing exactly like the ball. Okay, that's why it is not 80s. We consider this 50 plus 30 70s because its size, its shape, its weight decreases little. That's why it is 70s. Okay, so 50s is large ribosome unit and 30s is small unit. I hope it's clear. Okay. Now there is one more thing. Along with the ribosomes we have inclusion bodies also. Okay, so what are inclusion bodies actually? These are nothing but just a reserve material. Okay, there are some other structures present inside the cell which we never call organelles, but these are some reserve material which is required for the cell to perform its functions. Okay, so because bacteria is also an organism, it has to live, it has to take food, it has to breathe, all these things we require some materials, so that is the inclusion bodies. Example, phosphate granules, glycogen granules. So you have to learn these examples. Phosphate means having phosphorus in them. Okay, so this is this. All right, now our next topic. This completes your prokaryotes. All right, now the next is eukaryotes or cells which are eukaryotic cells. You know that eukaryotic, I explained you yesterday also that eukaryotic cells are present in plants, animals, fungi and even protists. Protists are algae like structures. Okay, and then eukaryotes special and important characteristic is that they have membrane bound nucleus. Nucleus is surrounded with proper envelope, and along with that the organelles are present, proper organelles. Organelles are nothing but inside the cell we have small organ like structures. Those are organelles. So many organelles are present. We will discuss them one by one later. All those organelles are also covered with a proper membrane. Okay, that's why they are called as eukaryotic cells. Now in eukaryotic cells different parts are there. Okay, so first of all the cell, you know, is having what? Cell membrane. Okay, the outermost covering. So we will discuss this cell membrane today. Now cell membrane is actually what? Outermost covering of the cell, which is composed of two things. Okay, lipids and proteins. Very important. Proteins so you know, but lipids means nothing but fats. Okay, fats. So these two are present, but here the very important thing is that lipid, which are fats also, they are present in the form of phospholipids. Yes, phospholipid. What is this phospholipid actually? Having phosphorus group also in that. Phospholipids in bilayer means two layers of phospholipids is present in the cell membrane. How? I will show you in a simple diagram. This is the diagram. It's also given in your book, but this is more clear than the book. Okay, so you can follow this diagram also. It is also correct. So this is actually the diagram of the cell membrane. Actually in cell membrane two layers are present. Can you see this? This and this. These are the phospholipid layers. Since these are two in number, we call them bilayer. Phospholipid bilayer. Okay, and if you see its structure, this bilayer consists of so many molecules, and their structure is, one is rounded, which is called head. Okay, polar head, and this is the tail, hydrophobic tail. Now what do you mean by hydrophobic and hydrophilic? Head is hydrophilic. Philic word means loving. That means it attracts water, water loving. It will go towards the water. It makes a bond with the water. Okay, but hydrophobic tail means, it is phobic word means hating. Okay, it hates water, it never comes in contact with water. Okay, so suppose actually inside the body also cells are placed. Outside that we have blood and other liquid substances. Okay, so that blood or other aqueous substances, you know that head always attracts those aqueous substances. So that's why head is present towards the outer side, hair also towards the outer side, whereas tail, which is not is water hitting or aqueous, it never comes in contact with the aqueous surface, so this tail is present towards the inner side. Okay, this is this structure, bilayer always, and along with this bigger structure is nothing but protein. Okay, some proteins are also present, but they are such a big proteins that they make a channel between the two layers. Okay, that's why they called as integral proteins. Very important. After that, there are some other proteins which are present in the outer side or outer surface of the head. We call them peripheral proteins. Okay, and some carbohydrates are attached with those peripheral proteins. Okay, and there are some other structures also present in this layer, that is cholesterol. Okay, so this is actually the structure of the cell membrane, most accepted structure. Now, this model was actually given by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. This model is called as fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane. Okay, this is the most accepted model, and this is really very important topic. 100% chances are there that this topic will come in your exam, fluid mosaic model. Okay, so that's why learn this carefully. Now actually, the cell membrane function, if we talk about its function, what is the function of the cell membrane? This is the cell, okay, and this is the membrane. So this membrane is this. Okay, so function of the membrane is just to import or export the substances outside inside of the cell. Okay, some substances will enter from outside, some will move outside. Okay, so that means it should have some pores. Okay, that's why we call it selectively permeable. Permeable means which allows entry from outside, and some substances from inside the cell they exit. Okay, but when we are using here selective, matlab some of the substances, not all. Okay, some substances can move across the membrane, but those never requires energy. That's why we call that type of transport passive transport, which never requires energy. Okay, like water also moves like that through osmosis. Okay, but some substances, few molecules require energy to pass, and that energy is usually in the presence of ATP. Okay, that type of transport is called active transport. Okay, so passive, when energy is not required to transport across the membrane, whereas active requires energy. So this is about the fluid mosaic model. So usually all these proteins are in continuously dynamic motion. Some of the substances passes through them. Okay, so that's why we call them integral protein. So this is the topic here. Now properly read them, go through these notes carefully. If you have any doubt, just ask and write in your notebooks the important points. Okay, not need to write in detail, because I am already giving you the documents which are highlighted, and the book, that your textbook. Okay, the documents which I give you, the highlighted ones, kindly highlight in your books also. Okay, so that it will be easy to you for study the important topics, because those are the important things which can come in your exam as well as for competitive study also. Okay, that's it. Thank you.